Because of the one-child policy, most families in China are only allowed one child. As a result of traditional preference, families want boys, so they get rid of unwanted girls through abandonment, selective abortion and infanticide. 3,014 babies are being abandoned every day, the majority of them girls. The US State Department reports that today there are more than 37 million more men than women in China. With such a massive shortage of wives, hundreds of thousands of little girls are being trafficked and forced to marry.
The Chinese government's one-child per couple policy, with its attendant horrors of forced abortion campaigns and rampant sex selection abortion, is in scope and in seriousness the worst human rights abuse, the worst gender crime in the world today.
I studied East Asian Studies at Harvard, and I went to China 3 summers during my years in college. I studied the one-child policy, actually, but I didn't think about what did the one-child policy mean for all those women who had over-quota births? What did the one-child policy mean for all those girls that didn't have a chance at life?
看见他的那一刻，就是印象最深。从我的身体里面抽出来的时候，那个就是那个印象最深。
With the threat of a one-child policy fine hanging over their heads, the couple feel they have no choice but to call in a trafficker. Wang Li has been trading in human lives since 1985. A young man at the time, he was offered a few thousand renminbi for his then girlfriend. He agreed to sell her and quickly realized that this was a potentially easy way of making a living. With 3 decades of the one-child policy leaving China so short of women, he's rarely out of work.
需求很多地方，哪个地方拿去都能卖掉，什么地方都有，就是我说这几个省，随时拿着都去都卖得掉的，不是需求，而是供不应求，因为你找不到那么多嘛，哪里来那么多？啊，说真的，10个女孩，起码有8个你不上床，你是骗不得的，这个是真的。
One-child policy causes more violence towards women and girls than any other official policy on earth and any other official policy in history of the world. It is China's war on women and girls.
Ms. Chen is a mother whose daughter was taken by the Family Planning Committee when she violated the one-child policy. She's experienced firsthand the pressure to have a boy.
Girls are married away and become other people's daughters, so they can't support their parents, except as circumstances allow. They can give a little money to their parents. Basically, once parents get older, they have to depend on their son to live. As a result, every person in the countryside says they want a boy.
你想不想联络？我很想联络啊。你很想联络？当然了，是我亲生的女儿吧。
Asia's work is very important because it tried to combat the largest crime against humanity on Earth right now, gendercide. So AGA is taking on this battle and trying to make a difference.
We feel a lot like David. We have the audacity to take on this one-child policy, and we know that the one-child policy is just a Goliath.
The Chinese government says that in 30 years since the one-child policy was implemented, it reduced the population by 400 million. But we look at it from another angle. 400 million lives have been artificially destroyed. How could we look on this killing without doing anything?
In November 2009, Chai Ling heard a testimony about China's brutality to women that catapulted her into a life transformed by Jesus. She felt called by him to do something about it.
This is such a global phenomenon against women. And so we believe this is a lifetime journey for us to really, truly to bring God's love and care to women and to girl and to mother. And because we are made also in God's image. And so that's why I'm excited about it.
We're generously supported by the Gendercide Foundation to allow us to give 100% of the money that's donated to All Girls Aloud to our work on the ground. And all of the work being done on the ground is done by local Chinese.
All Girls Aloud operates in China with 4 programs that bring life, value and dignity to girls and mothers. We combat gendercide through our baby shower gift program that encourages mothers to keep their newborn girls. We address the issue of trafficking by supporting a rescue hotline and a Reuniting Trafficked Children campaign. We help girls who have been abandoned by providing for their education. None of the girls we support would go to school if not for donors to All Girls Aloud. This year, one of the girls in our program is going to college for the first time. And we defend mothers facing forced abortion and sterilisation by giving them a voice in China and among international media and world leaders.
AGA's mission is to restore life, value, and dignity to girls and mothers, and to reveal the injustice of China's one-child policy. As you may know, there are many human rights abuses that are occurring as a result of the policy. With the love of Christ and the power of God, AGA is taking on this massive issue with faith that this will come to an end.
Lee is one of the many mothers we've helped. She already had 2 daughters. Under enormous pressure from her husband's family, she agreed to try a 3rd time for a boy, an illegal act under China's strict one-child policy. It was another girl.
After the ultrasound, they called her husband's parents. They said that if it's a girl, then abort it. Lee and her husband said that they'd rather have the child. Don't even think about aborting.
Because she wanted to keep her girl, Lee suddenly found herself alone. Her in-laws forced her out of the house. Yao Su-chi, or Remember the Miracle, was born 1 month later. Because of All Girls Aloud support, Lee could provide for the baby. Today, Lee has hope again. Just recently, AGA was notified about Nielena, a pregnant woman whose house was forcibly demolished. She was beaten and arrested in Beijing when she tried to petition for justice. When we heard she was being detained and beaten every day as officials decided to force an abortion on her to punish her, we and our supporters began to pray. Just 2 days later, a miracle happened. None of the officials who were holding her had the stomach to sign their name to the forced abortion order, and she was set free.
The average American has a big job when they find out about what's happening in China. Because once you hear about what's happening, it's hard to ignore the cries of millions of baby girls and their mothers.
There's so many ways that people can get involved. They can pray, they can talk, they can share stories, they can help participate in the rescue work, they can contribute, they can become volunteers, they can become bloggers and tweeters.
One thing that we've done that has been really exciting to see take off is our pledge. And we ask people to join us in standing beside women and girls and families in China for life, value, and dignity by signing a pledge and taking a photo of it and sending it to us.
All Girls Aloud's base of support has grown every day since we launched last June 1st, 2010. Our partners represent 27 different countries. We speak many different languages and come from many family backgrounds and cultures. We are over 6,000 strong, standing for life, value and dignity for the mothers and daughters of China.
With a small amount of people and resource and funding, we can still make a big difference in this problem. And so just imagine if more people join the movement and to be part of this force, and we can end this crime against humanity in our lifetime.
And that's the kind of hope that we have at All Girls Aloud, that a centuries-old tradition of preference for males, that a centuries-old tradition of wanting to control your family, that centuries-old tradition will fall and give way instead to a culture that embraces life and embraces girls and embraces equality for everyone.